Hi, welcome to Taking Action, Creating Hubs for Health, Session 2. I'm Cara Snap, and this is my co-facilitator for our live and in-person session. Hannah Fogarty and I are from the Washington County Department of Health, and we aim to ensure all residents of our county. Let's get our introductions started. Please say your name, your store location, and please offer one reason why you personally or professionally are here tonight. We have about 3 minutes to go around the room. Let's begin to my left. I'm now going to review our agenda for the evening. We are going to run through some quick activities to get to know one another and review content from Session 1 in a quiz show format. Next, you'll take the pre-assessment for this session. We will revisit why the high uninsured rate in Washington County matters to us, answering the question, so what? This is followed by a small group discussion and problem solving and networking activity with store leaders from your geographic area. A large group check-in follows with an explanation of Take It Back activities, then a post-assessment. We'll wrap up with information about Session 3. Are there any questions? Now it's time to get to know a bit more about who is in the room. You will have 1 minute to quickly form groups by the categories up on the screen. I will announce them one at a time. You all will have to determine where in the room to meet one another. So let's get started. Please stand. The first category is geographic part of the county: north, south, east, west. You have about 40 seconds. Go. Once you've arrived with your group, talk with one another and determine if each of you is indeed in the appropriate group. Now, we'd like each group to announce itself. Look around and familiarize yourself with the members of each category. Let's start with north, and then south, and then east, and then west. Go ahead. Thank you. The second category is miles from a city. Within that category, we have 1 to 5 miles, 6 to 10 miles, 11 to 20 miles, or 21 or more miles from a city. You have about 40 seconds. Go. Looks like everyone is settling into their group. Please announce which category you're in and familiarize yourself with all of the groups. Let's start to my left. All right, thank you all for that. Now quickly divide by store type. Small local grocery stores is one type. Big chain grocery stores is another. And the third category is dollar stores. Falling into that category are Dollar Tree, Dollar General, and Family Dollar. You have 40 seconds. Great. Looks like everyone is settled. Please announce your store type and familiarize yourself with the various groups. Let's start to my right this time. Now we ask that you please return to your original group, your geographic group. And make sure you all are in agreement that everyone is in the right place.
because you're going to stay with the group you're in now for our rapid review and then join them again later for the problem solving and networking activity. And now it's time for a rapid review. Grab a dry erase board and a dry erase marker, and you'll use that to record your team's answer. Write quickly and hold the board overhead with the answer after each question is asked. We have 4 minutes to complete this activity. Are there any questions about how to play rapid review? You'll have to think back to the last session and consult with your group members. Question number 1. What is the uninsured rate in the U.S.? Talk with your group members, record that rate, and raise your board overhead when you're sure, close to shore. I see 2 boards up and 3 boards, and everyone's got it. 10.6%. I did emphasize that a lot in the last session, so I'm glad you all recalled it. Excellent. Moving on to question number 2. What is the uninsured rate in Washington County? So again, consult with those in your group. Waiting for one more group. Okay, we have all the answers. I see 4 boards in the air. That correct answer is 16.3%. The rate in Washington County is almost 6% higher than the U.S. rate. Our next question is a true or false question. So erase that answer and ask yourself this. Washington County women cannot expect to live as long as their mothers lived. True or false? Yes, it looks like it's unanimous. You all agree. That answer is true. Question number 4, true or false as well. The rate of deaths related to alcohol, drugs, and suicide in Washington County is more than twice the rate across the U.S. And it looks like you've unanimously answered correctly here. That answer also is true. Now that you're warmed up, let's focus on what's next. My colleague Hannah is handing out a sheet for you to complete. Please do so to the best of your ability using any knowledge gained prior to this moment. You have 3 minutes to complete. When completed, please turn your paper upside down and we will collect them. Thank you for completing and answering those questions. Now we'll move on to the heart of this session. The primary questions that you'll answer today are the focus, and those questions are, so what? Why should we care? What can we do? Just for the sake of review, and to let these facts land in your head and heart, please listen carefully. The life expectancy of women in Washington County dropped between 1983 and 1999. Washington County women cannot expect to live as long as their mothers lived. Overall life expectancy is 75.9 years in Washington County, whereas it is 77.5 years across the U.S. 16.3% of Washington County residents are uninsured. This you showed that you knew in our rapid review.
Of Maine's 36 hospitals, 16 of them are critical access hospitals with 25 or fewer beds, 35 miles or more from another hospital, offering limited services to rural areas and to mostly uninsured patients. The rate of deaths of despair, that is from alcohol, drugs, and suicide, was 90.79 for every 100,000 people in Washington County, Maine in 2018. That is compared to 45.3 per 100,000 in the United States. That's twice the national rate. Maternal mortality rates have increased in rural areas in the U.S. Infant mortality rates increased in Maine 2% between 2008 and 2018. Now, I'd like to hear your thoughts and feelings on how a decreased rate of uninsured might impact these statistics. We have about 5 minutes for this discussion, so please raise your hand and share your thoughts. You'll see some questions on the board that might help you form some thoughts about what to share. Those questions are: would people be more likely to access services they need if they had insurance? What if insurance enrollment was made easier, less overwhelming, or more accessible for county residents? What if local retailers could connect them with resources? What if your store was one of those retailers? Thank you for that rich discussion. If you've moved at this point, please rejoin the group representing your geographic area. You now have an opportunity to share ideas with those in your area. Please consider these questions. What's our role? How can we collaborate? What can or will work in our area? Do we have the same customer base? What are the barriers we'll need to work around? And these questions are on the screen if you'd like to refer to them. Please use a large Post-it paper and markers as you brainstorm to record your ideas, problems, and potential solutions. Does anyone have any questions? At this point, Hannah and I will circulate and be available as a resource to you all. You have about 11 minutes or so for this. So with 2 minutes remaining, we'd like you to collect information from 2 other store leaders in your group. You will be in touch with one another prior to session 3. So just take a moment to do this here and then wrap it up. And please, when that's complete, make a large circle so that we can continue with our large group discussion. Thank you. Thank you all for coming together in this big circle. Now we would like to hear your brainstorms, ideas, problems, and potential solutions related to our problem of a high rate of uninsured residents in Washington County and any answers to the questions that we've posed. Please share a helpful, relevant, or doable idea or potential barrier from someone else in your group. First, you'll introduce them, telling us their name, their store, and their store's location, and then proceed with your share. We have about 2 minutes for this activity. I can't wait to hear what you all have to say.